With that, it looks like we are live. So, hello, everybody, and welcome to season 5 of The Collective, rebooted, the finale. Congratulations once again to Billy and Minor. You guys did what 18 other people couldn't do and make it to the end. So, congratulations. And let me cut that live out. So, with that, we are going to go right into opening statements. Billy, as the winner of the last trial, you have decided that you will go first. So, we already went over all the rules and everything. So, Billy, the floor is yours, and Lily will start your time now.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for giving me all your time. I know everyone's days are precious. I want to thank Miner also for being here as well. Obviously, Miner and I were super close this game. I want to thank production for also putting this out for us and actually, doing the whole damn thing for us. So again, want to thank them out. But let's get into what we really want to know, and that's what did I do this game? What did I? Well, why do you guys think I should be the winner of the season? And I'm just going to start off with one common goal. I came into the season wanting to prioritize myself. I told myself I would do whatever was possible to make sure that I was sitting in the end game and in the final two, regardless of what was necessary. I emphasize basically starting off when we got our circles, I knew that the first thing I had to do was shore up the relationships within my circle. I made extensive social connections with the people in my circle and out of the circle, tried to attempt to as well. Um, Basically, long story short, throughout this game, I had multiple final threes within my circle, whether that was with Seb and Megan, whether that was Minor and Seb, whether that was with Steven and Seb. Long story short, I was trying to insulate myself any way I could while also making sure that other people were being targeted outside. So that's why I felt it was super important to go after people who were not in my circle, because at the end of the day, I knew my circle had me no matter what was going to happen. However, I want to preface this by one thing. I know a lot of people are looking for the big move. At times, it's not necessary. I also preach myself on being patient. Sometimes the big move does not need to happen if I was in a good position. My first real example of what was going to happen and what I tried setting seeds for was basically the Kevin round. Everyone was going after Kevin because he was going after comp threats. That was actually on a call between me and Kevin. I talked to Kevin about that. We both talked about how comp threats were going to be coming up. I at that point told people like Morgan, who I knew would be trying to protect herself at any capacity, that Kevin was in fact going after comp threats. I tried creating targets anywhere I could. That would not be me, so I could make it a few rounds further. Additionally, in the Kevin vote, I was making sure that I was highly insulated because I literally had multiple people coming to me telling me, "Hey, Billy, by the way," specifically Fred and Seb in this regard, they're trying to tie the vote so that Minor and you can go up and Minor can go home. They asked me what I wanted them to do, and Kevin went home because that's what I really need to do. Basically, no matter what happened, I relied on the multiple final threes within my circle. It's why the circle stayed as whole as long as possible. And I had people like Fred and Morgan keeping me in the loop with stuff outside of my circle and keeping me in information and in the loop. Probably the biggest move and the biggest surprise of the season for me specifically was the final seven vote, which was John Farrell going home. Basically, what ended up happening was Fred and I had a conversation after he called with John, and Fred told me that he was trying to save Noah. Even though we had a five-person chat of me, Seb, Fred, Minor, and John that were trying to go to five together. At that point, when after the information that Fred gave me, I did try pushing him, and successfully so. And it was definitely, I'm not saying I'm taking full credit for it. Fred also had to do the move as well. But we started the conversation of John needs to go so we can make sure that we make four together. At that point, the objective was get John out at seven, make sure Ginny goes at six so that she saves Fred at saves Fred at five, sorry, make him at four, and guarantees that me and Minor push through. I really don't have a lot else to say. I just really want to talk about how throughout this game, Minor and I were the only two people not to hit the block. I was extremely selfish at times. Noah can definitely apply to that, about how I wasn't willing to go on the block if necessary. Um, I was also saved the most amount of times this season with the number of 8 times in the season, while also not winning a ton of collectives. So I didn't rely on comp strength either. I also believe, and I could be completely wrong on this, I was never really considered seriously to go home until the final five. I could be completely wrong on that. I would love, if I am wrong, to be updated on that. It's not within fact. But I really just want to say that in this season, I feel like I did everything possible to make sure that I did what I needed to do. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'm ceding the rest of my time.
Okay, thank you, Billy. Minor, the floor is yours.
Well, I want to start off with thanking Prod too and the whole cast. Um, my gameplay coming in, I was trying to go off of my first season, and then I wanted to put my circle first, and then me second, because that worked well for me. But I learned what I learned from Keaton was that sometimes you have to put yourself first and do what is best for you. And anything that helps you in the game is what you have to do. So that's what I decided to do after a key moment in this game. Early on, I was labeled as a comp threat. I had groups with the six for the comp threats, and then it was me, Mikey, and Morgan for the triple threats. Um, and then I had season one alliance we had like a deal of trying to make sure we all got into jury. Um, but my really key relationship in the early stages of the game was Cake. Cake gave me lots of information, which led to the key moment for the Hutch versus Jenny vote. That one I got on a call with John, so I knew John was voting for Hutch. So I knew the vote was going to be 7-7. I convinced Steven because he was going to flip and vote for Jenny. I convinced Steven to stay on Hutch. And then I decided what I wanted to do, if either do Hutch or Jenny. And I felt in the game, the more important was Jenny. I had a great relationship with Jenny. I felt that they would be better for my game. So I decided to make the majority for Hutch to go. Um, and then in Kevin, Kevin versus Steven. I was pushing for Kevin to go. And then after all that, I got information from Casey that I was a target and I was supposed to go home that round. So after then, I was like, okay, I have to play for myself, start making sure my circle is protected, put myself first. So in coming rounds, I got not confronted, but I got to Fred and Morgan. I was like, hey, I heard this. And then that made me get really close to Fred. And we had a great partnership all the way to the Final Four. And I think that's also a key component what Casey gave me, because I tend to keep trying with people, but I kept getting nothing back. And I was like, I'm not wasting my time if people don't want to give me my energy, give me the same energy I'm giving back. So I put it to the people who wanted to actually talk to me and work with me. And that helped me maneuver the rest of the game. For Megan and Seb, I was pushing for Megan to go because I was closer to Steven. So I wanted Megan to go because if Megan stayed, Steven would protect Megan over me. So with Meg left, when Steven was in the collective, I was his first initial choice to be saved. Um, so that guaranteed like my safety moving forward with against my circle because he didn't really trust Billy and Seb too much. And then with John and Seb vote, the block, I wanted John out. Fred came to me with the plan, and then that's what I wanted, but I thought there wasn't any chance. So I made Fred feel comfortable, and I promised him Final Four, and I kept my word. Um, and with John gone, it made me my path easier to make it to the end. Noah with Seb, Noah and Seb noms. That one was a little bit more difficult. Even though the decision seemed like it was easy, I was balancing both if I wanted Billy safe or Seb safe. Um, I kept going back and forth, but I felt at the end Billy was more prepared for the spiderweb comp. So I felt our odds were better than with me and Seb. So that's what in the end flipped for Billy. But yeah, I in this game, I learned that I had to think for myself, put myself first instead of other people. Um, and I think I did that. Like I won 7 comps. I kept myself safe, but I was saved 6 times. And then that was with based on my connections I had with people in and out of my circle. And I know, like what Billy said, I never touched the block. I made it here again. I felt like I was more well-rounded this game than my first game. So I'm
Do
very
have to cut you off there, Minor. I'm so sorry. I know we have more time to talk later. Thanks.
Thank you both finalists. And now it's time for the jury. So we are going to start with Noah. Noah, the floor is yours. You have 7 minutes.
Can y'all hear me now? Am I glitching or good? Okay, so congratulations. You two know I love you both. So I hope it's all water under the bridge, whichever way I go tonight. I don't take my question too seriously, but take it seriously. It's gonna be both for you. You know, I tried to play a little bit harder in the end game just to try to add things to my resume to potentially make it to the end. I want to know why it was a bad move to not take me up on my deals. Um, does that make sense, or do you need me to explain any more?
Yeah, I can kind of touch on that. So
Okay.
basically, no, we did have this conversation throughout multiple reasons and why I decided that one of the moves that you wanted to make for your resume was to basically have Minor save you at 5 and then have it me versus Seb on the block. Like I said, throughout the season, my goal was to prioritize myself and any facets of what ended up happening. Me going on the block would not have prioritized me at all. At that point, as much as I wanted to give you what you wanted and like basically how we worked really well together in the end game, as much as I wanted to give that to you, putting myself on the block gives me a small sliver chance of going home compared to a 0% chance of going home because a vote wasn't going to tie. So I had to prioritize myself in that regard, and that's why I did what I needed to do.
Interesting. Okay. That's not what I asked, but Minor.
Yeah, so for the deals you were referencing, mine was a Final Five comp. Um, throwing, giving it to you, which is the same for Billy. I was putting myself first. I wanted a guarantee 0%.
Okay, wait, I want to give you both a chance to answer. I know why you guys did it. I know why you guys did it. Why should you have not done it? And why should you have why should you have taken me up on my offer? Like, why would that have been beneficial to you? And if you don't see any benefit to you, that can be your answer. But I just want to know if you're thinking along my terms. Does that make more sense?
Are you asking? I just want to make clear clarification. Are you asking why we should have done it?
Yes. Why should you have taken me up on either of my proposals?
Okay, I can start with that. Purely on a jury management standpoint, I think it would have made our relationship a lot better. I do feel like if I did do that, like you said, you did tell me literally straight up, you did say I would be more inclined to vote for you if you were able to do this. You did say that verbatim. But at the end of the day, when I'm playing, like it would have made sense for me to do that. But like you understand why I could not have done that. So basically, from a pure jury management standpoint, yes, that would have been the reason to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
For me, I don't think it would have worked for me because I think it took away the decision making, like saying this is what I decide, instead of if I did take it up, I was giving you and Fred to the like what we're gonna do. So for me, it would have been bad.
Okay. And I'll end it off on a fun note. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
4.
Okay. Thank you guys. I'm done.
Thank you so much, Noah. We appreciate it. Next up is going to be our first juror of the season, Kevin. Kevin, the floor is yours.
Oh, that's not the camera I want. Hold on. I need to fix this real quick. Okay, where is it? I've done this before and it won't. Never mind. I think I'm just gonna use this camera because it's not gonna fucking work. Hello. I guess Sir Sleeps a Lot has made a return as well. If you know, you know. But yes, congrats to the both of you. I think it's really crazy how, like, you know, in this game, two circles get exposed. One of them completely is fucked as a result of that, and the other one just completely dominates. And you guys really killed it and should be very proud of yourselves regardless. Look, like I said, I've been asleep. I have not been able to watch this as a result of that. So the question I'm going to ask you very well might have already been asked, but you know what? What the fuck it? We're going to roll into it anyway. So this season, you know, is called Rebooted Second Chances. So I think my question to you is, what do you think you did in this game that was different from you did in your previous one, and how do you think it got you here overall? And either of you can start.
I can go first. Sorry, I don't. If I don't, it's fine. In season 2, I completely put all my eggs in one basket. As publicly everyone knows, Laura was my #1 ally. I put all my allies in that basket. I put all my eggs in that basket. This season, I told myself that was not going to happen. I wanted to try and make a large array of allies as much as possible, trying to get within my circle and with people outside of my circle. I think I was largely successful in that fact, considering that I am sitting here. But at the same time, I feel like I also improved a lot on how to actually understand the format of the game in terms of what was necessary, what was needed, and everything like that. So I would have to say, like, basically just I improved in that regard.
Okay, Minor.
What I changed was putting myself first instead of in first season, I put everyone first. I put Keaton first. I put Chloe first. I put Cody first. I shouldn't have, but Cody. In this one, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this for me. Like if anybody else, if they go out, they go out. I'm still here. So I put myself first, even making connections within my circle and without my within out my circle. I tried to reach out. If I didn't get a connection, I reached out somewhere else. And if I got the connection, I made it work for me, which helped me make it to the end game with without being nominated. And I feel like that was the biggest change of mentality is put yourself first and think about everybody else afterwards.
Okay, as predicted, you both said the exact same thing, which kind of suspects what we were thinking at the roundtable. But last thing I'm going to do right here, I don't know if this has been done already. I need both of you to just go ahead and just close your eyes real quick. And I need you to go ahead and we're going to go through all the jurors and you're going to raise your hand if you think you have their vote. So we're just going to go in order, starting off with me. Raise your hand if you think you have my votes. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you have Casey's vote. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you have Andrew's vote. I'm trying to remember which juror is next, so I might go slightly out of order here. Let me pull up the thing right now. All right, we gotta go back a bit because I'm forgetting the order of the jury. Okay, raise your hand if you think you have. I believe the next person was Zach. Yes, raise your hand if you have Zach's vote. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you have Mikey's vote. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you have Morgan's vote. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you have Jenny's vote. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you have let's see who was next here. Raise your hand if you think you have Noah's vote. Raise your hand if you think you have Seb's vote. And finally, raise your hand if you think you have Fred's vote. All right. Well, like I said, at the risk of redundancy, I am just going to go ahead and cut it here. But like I said, you both should be very proud. I think again the fact that, like I said before, I thought leaving this game, both circles that would be exposed would be demolished, but you guys took the opposite approach and should be very proud at the direction that it ended up going. I think either way, we're going to have a really great winner here. So just keep fighting. Try your best to differentiate your game from the other person's, and we will see ultimately who ends up getting the win. All right, congrats to you both.
Thank you, Kevin. Chew down. Next up, we are going to go with Andrew. Andrew, the floor is yours.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just want to say congratulations to both of you for making it this far. Proud of you guys. My question to you guys is or not question, but just flat out, I want you both to break down your games into 3 categories: your social game, your intellectual game, and your physical game. And just on a scale of 1 to 5, how you think, just rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, how you think you played. Either one of you can go first.
Okay, so you said strat, social, and comp, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
For comp, I would say 4.5.
Well, it was intellectual, physical, and social.
Okay, for physical, I say like a 4. Intellectual, I'll say 4 too. And then for social, like 4.
And then why?
Oh, why? Okay. For physical, for my circle, I won the most comps. Um, and for intellectual, I made moves that I felt were best for me. Maybe not necessarily for everybody else, but for me. Um, like deciding between Hutch and Jenny, pushing for Megan, pushing for Kevin, um, strength. And then social, I make connections within my circle and then also connections with outside the circle with who actually gave me time and responded to me. I gave my time when they gave me their time. And then that helped me grow my connections from there and try to figure out how to maneuver the game.
Really?
I'll say comp around 4. I'll say intellectual around 4, and then I'll say social around a 3, and I'll explain why. I think comps, even though I didn't win as many comps, I think it's also really important what you do with your comp wins, because at the end of the day, the people you are saving are people you want to look to protect rather than just people that you just don't want to go on the block. Example, Miner did mention that he did get saved 6 times. 3 of those times were from me, so 50% of the time that I was the one who ended up saving Miner. So I knew at the end of the day, Miner would be really strong in comps and would be able to help me throughout this end game. Intellectually, I think it was also a 4. I wasn't necessarily perfect. At the end of the day, like I made mistakes. Example, not telling Seb about the John vote, even though I knew he would have been completely willing. I was also not super on top of that. And then social, I'll say a 3. It's never been a huge strong point of my game. I've always been a little weaker in the social department, but I tried my absolute best. I tried getting to know people the best I can, and with the fast format of the game, some people I tried to get to know ended up leaving earlier in the game. I know all of you guys for most of the part. I've either played with you guys before, hosted you, or anything like that. So it was a lot of the times I was jumping straight to the strategic because we already know each other. So that's why.
All right. I think I'll cut my time here, but again, congrats to both of you and good luck.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Andrew. Next juror is going to be Casey. Didn't even need me to introduce her. The floor is yours.
Okay. I feel like I kind of tried to fuck both of you over at one point in the game. Um, so I feel like I kind of owe you both, and I'm in a really hard spot. I don't know where my vote should go. I think you both played a really good game socially. I think you said you were a 4, Billy. I think you were much more than a 4 because you kind of talk shit, which I appreciate. Miner, I mean, I targeted you for like half the game like an idiot, so feel like I kind of owe you there. But what's like, I don't know, what's something in the game that you've done that is like underrated, you think? Or I don't know, like get my vote. Minor, you go first.
You said like what was something underrated?
Yeah, something underrated or something that like is interesting about your game.
Um, I would say the Hutch and Jenny vote.
Mhm.
Because that's where I was trying to game connection with like you, like the other side that were voting for Hutch. I was trying to get close to you guys to be able to like either decide if I want to go this way or the other way, where I was lumped in with the comp threats. Um, so getting on the call with Steven, I was like, this is what we're gonna do, and hoping I gain trust with you guys. It didn't end up happening because you just ended up trying to target me. Um, but that was one I really wanted to do. It didn't plan out, but I feel like that was one of the game moments that
Okay.
helped me realize the two sides.
I do have a secondary question for you real quick, and then we'll get to Billy. So the round that Andrew and I were going out, I was trying my hardest to get Steven to save me, and I think he saved you. And then after we went, Steven went. Was that kind of always your plan, was to take Steven out, or like what did you do to get him to save you and to not let it go to a jury or something? Or yeah, to not let one of you guys go home pre-jury. Sorry.
Well, I don't think people knew me and Steven were really close from like the get-go. Like we were very tight. Like we talked, we got on calls. And then that was a relationship that I was trying to make in my circle. In fact, I was trying to make him go into jury. It ended up not planning out, but that showed that I was trying to, like, I had his trust, he had my trust. He's kind of lost it when he was making final two deals with Billy and Seb. That's why it led him to being out the next round. But if I had a choice before that, he would have stayed longer.
Okay, well, also just to point out, during like night, you saved Mikey, and Megan had to save Steven at the end. So I don't know if that's 100% true, but moving forward, Billy, what's something that you've done in this game that like I probably don't know about? I've been sitting fucking jury here for a long time.
I would say, like, and it's as I did mention it a little bit in my opening. I think one of the more interesting moves I made this season was basically calling with Kevin and getting him to basically spill to me that the comp threats were a thing, that he was going after comp threats, and then me immediately running to the comp threats and telling him that Kevin was going after him. At that point, I knew that these people who were going to be targeting Kevin were 100%. They were going to take my word as true, and I knew at that point I could actually trust these people to actually do what I needed them to do, and vice versa. I could trust them. They could trust me. So it was a huge point of trust, especially going into a jury phase where I needed to start targeting my own circle.
Okay. A question for that. So after our circles were kind of outed, we decided to work together. And I do think, especially like the Noah, Fred, that circle was really strong. So I think it's interesting that you kind of decided to go with that sort of group versus someone like me and Kevin. I feel like you'd have an easier chance. But hey, you still got to the end. So I don't know. Was there like a reason for that?
Brett and I were locked in since day one. We immediately connected with a super long call. At the end of the day, we've never played together before. I like to prioritize playing with people that I've never played before. We locked in day one. So I knew at that point I was not doing that. At that time, there was also a chat with basically me, Seb, Fred, and there was another chat with me, Seb, Fred,
That
and
makes
John.
sense.
Like I knew at that point I was going to go far with that circle. It didn't really matter who beside if Fred could choose basically who he wanted to go with. I knew 100% that I had his back moving forward. He saved me multiple times. He said that, and especially since he was winning as many collectives as he was, the chat of me, Fred, and Morgan definitely powered that. I was definitely not winning comps, but I was also being protected by two people who were winning a shit ton of comps in the beginning.
Yeah, I definitely didn't put you into being with them. As more of like Mikey, Morgan, Fred, Noah. I never put you in that. So Interesting to know, Billy. But good game to both of you guys. Good luck. I think either of you deserve to win. So yeah.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you, Casey. Okay, next up is going to be Mikey. Mikey, all yours.
Oh, Zach's not here. All right.
He's not.
Um,
Sorry.
no, that's okay. I wasn't expecting this. First of all, I would like to say the two of you are so freaking handsome. And that's all you're getting out of me today. But anyway, congratulations. I know I was somebody who, especially towards the middle of the game, kind of checked out a little bit. So I'm really interested in hearing about the end game. That's what I've been listening for. And I just want y'all to know, like, my vote is open, and I encourage you, like I encourage any finalist that I'm ever up against, to really fucking fight for it. I could serve to see a little more fight from both of you. I think you're both doing okay, but I want y'all to really fight for it. My question is going to be for both of you. And I'm interested. Actually, I think I have a couple of questions, but I'm interested in, besides the two of you, obviously, who was the one person, preferably outside of your circle, that you utilized the most or the best in the game?
I'm going to go a different route with that. I'm going to answer your question, but I think there's two separate answers for that question. One was comp ability, and one was totally just day to day and everything like that. Who I relied on the most comp ability was Morgan. She absolutely had my back whenever I needed it. If there was any time that she felt like I was going to go home, she was willing to save me. And again, I think comp ability, she was extremely strong, and she was really willing to save me whenever I needed to. And then in terms of day to day, I mentioned it last with Casey. It was Fred. Fred and I locked in. A lot of this talks that we had were basically trying to prioritize me and him. Even though we weren't in the same circle, it was really difficult to try and get us both to 4 because we both had different plans to do so, but we ended up doing it. So again, I think there's two different answers to that question.
Cool, thank you. Minor.
I think I also have two, but like, one would be Jenny. Like, I really enjoyed, like, our talks, our calls, and I felt like we really were working well together. Like, if yeah, it's just that her energy outside of the game, it made me feel better, and I enjoyed it. But in the game side, it was Fred. Figuring out that Casey was targeting me and Fred actually got closer, and then from then on till the final four, we had trust with each other. Like, when he won comps, he saved me twice. Billy said 3 times. He only saved me twice. Yeah, it was 2 Fred, 2 Billy, 1 Seb, 1 Steven. Um, but yeah, it was Fred. Like, we didn't talk too much, but when it came to talking game, we had that trust with each other, and that's what helped me towards the end of the game.
All right, thank you very much. And then my second question is a little bit more self-centered. I'm interested in knowing how you guys utilized me. What's a way that you either manipulated me, you did something that involved me, and or got me to do something, so like it how did you utilize me?
I feel
And
like, oh, good. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
no, that's okay. I was just going to choose someone to start, so you're good.
I think the first live night is primarily where I was trying to utilize you. Quite literally, I jumped through multiple breakout rooms to find you, to try and say that I was saving you. Because at that point, I knew you were going to be killing comps. A lot of my strategic game was around who was going to win comps. I was completely comfortable going super far with people who were winning comps. And as you know, Morgan was like, nope, I got Mikey. So at that point, it diverted me to save Zach. So at that point, like I wanted to save you because knowing that you were extremely strong in competitions, I knew you would have my back moving forward. And I wanted to be the first to extend that show of faith moving forward. And I also think that showed in the well chat we had with me, Miner, you, Mikey, you, Morgan, Noah, and Fred. Or John, I forget exactly. I'm sorry, my brain's completely frazzled.
No,
But
you had it right.
yeah, so at that point I knew that even though we didn't talk on a daily basis, I knew that I just had to keep proving to you. And that's why I messaged you 3, 4, 5 days in a row saying good morning, good morning, good morning, to know that I still had you in this game, even if you weren't so like going to be super social. So that's where I think I kind of stood out, especially with you.
Mason, thank you.
Correction, I saved Mikey. The same wise, like we were both considered comp threats. So like me, Morgan, and you had that chat. I feel comfortable with you both of you. I know both of you don't really talk, so like I was fine with that as long as I felt like I fully trusted you guys to like watch out for me and then also like not target me. So saving you in Live Night was like an automatic choice, especially since Live Night was the comp threat. Even though Casey was like, "Oh, you're not gonna save Steven." In that instance, that's where I put myself first, and I was like, "Okay, I need to make sure, even like if I don't win, there's other comp threats that are seen." So like, I needed you in the game. So yeah, using your comp abilities and then even knowing you wouldn't target me until like towards the end of the game, I felt comfortable even though we didn't even talk too much in the game. But like Billy, I tried messaging you, I said hi. And yeah.
All right. Thank you both very much. I don't have a lot of time left, but I'm very interested in learning everything because I was so absent. So tell us everything. I love you both so much. Good luck. I'm probably going to be one of the nicer ones you get tonight. So good luck. Mwah. I concede the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mikey. Okay, so next up we're going a little out of okay. I was gonna go back to Zach Morgan, but you know what? You're
Oh,
already
is he
here.
here?
He
Is he-
is here, but it's okay. You know
Oh,
what? I'm gonna let you
go
two
to Zach.
decide.
No, Zach was late. Sorry. Go, Zach. Because I'm still thinking.
Right now.
He did this in the car.
He did. Right here. He did. And
No.
okay, anyway.
In the living room with someone else's house.
I'm dead. What's happening? Who's fighting?
No way. Okay. You two, I mean, I like both of you. That's what I'm gonna start out with.
Eat 'em up.
I really don't have any questions for me because I feel like both of y'all have pretty laid out. And also, those are people I just played the traitors with. My apologies. But I'm rooting for both of you. I kind of already know where my vote's going to go. But who said eat them up? Anyway. But props to you guys. No, you can't be in it. But yeah, I forfeit the rest of my time, though.
Okay. Next up is Morgan. The floor is yours.
Well, that was eventful. Hello. First and foremost, I love the both of you. I am conflicted because I feel like I wasn't around and I did work very closely with Billy. But then Minor obviously like I just like had your back. So oh my God, my cat's I'm so fucking annoying, dude. 1 second. I just need to rip her out of my room. I just would like to give both of y'all because Mikey kind of asked a question that I wanted to ask. why do you feel like, or like, obviously everybody's like final twos came to play. Everybody knew who we each wanted to bring in our at the end game, right? We had the six of the two of y'all, me, Mikey, and Fred and Noah. So was there ever, I don't know what I'm asking. Um I don't know what I'm asking. So do you feel like who your final two impacted who your allies were in the game? Like who you were working with in the game, do you think you had to like detour the direction you wanted to go based off of what your final two, each of you? Billy, did your path change because of what Minor wanted? And Minor, did your path change because of who Billy wanted to work with outside of your circle?
I'd argue the opposite. I think at the end of the day, a lot of people who I wanted to work with actually wanted Seb as me and Seb, like specifically like John Farrell, for example. I worked very closely with John Farrell until he ended up leaving at Seb, and he specifically wanted Seb in his Final Four situation, where I knew I did not want Seb in my Final Four situation. I think a lot of the times I operated against what a lot of people were expecting. A lot of people did not, like, especially I guess in my circle too, it seemed like, and this is just perception, obviously I could have been lied to, whatever. Megan and Seb, we actually had a chat for a final three. They wanted Minor out. I did not want that. I always wanted Minor in my final two. That's why I saved him as many times as I did, because I knew at the end of the day he would be able to help me with these end game comps. I feel like I actually went against the grain for trying to keep Minor in this game.
I think it's the same. I fought for Steven and Jenny to stay. I also wanted Casey and Andrew to stay until I found out they were trying to target me. But I think most of it was Steven. That's why Steven lasted as long as he did, was because I wanted Steven in 3 at the time. Because either Steven or Billy would have taken me instead of taking each other. Seb, I felt like Seb could have taken me, but I felt like he was closer to Billy. So I think keeping Steven around, and then Jenny was like everyone's like, oh, easy target. So every time Jenny kept being safe and making collective, I was happy because I wanted Jenny around. Um, yes, it was just mostly those two that I tried to keep into the game to benefit me and not anybody else.
Okay, and then a follow-up question for you, Minor, is in that final or like at the end, we were discussing at roundtable and we're just curious as to why you went with the Billy for the direction versus sitting at final two with Seb. Like, is there a reason?
Yeah. So even though I told Billy I was gonna save him like early morning, throughout the whole day I was debating it still because I was comparing pros and cons between Seb and Billy. And then at the end, I felt to make it to the end, I needed Billy. He was just more prepared, I felt like, for the comp than Seb. Um, and I just didn't want to make it to Final Four and then lose short of the spider web.
Okay. I'm just seeing if they wanted. Oh, also, Billy, I'm sorry I didn't save you, but I appreciate you. I will give like if each of you can say like 4 sentences to wrap your like to put your game in a couple of sentences, not a paragraph or like more than a minute. I want to hear each of you how you would sum your game entirely.
Minor, you can go first.
Okay, so you said it's just 4 sentences?
Yeah, keep it short.
I put me, myself, and I first, everyone second, and I never gave up and just tried.
A lot of the moves that I needed to happen did happen due to my social and strategic ability and relying on people who were extremely good at comps. I did not really have too many failed moves in regards of wanting to keep people around and they ended up going home anyway. I feel at the end of the day, I am deserving of this because even though not making a move may not be super impressive, it is still a move nonetheless. And I was able to realize the situation I was in. That's 3 sentences.
All right. I want to say congrats to you both for making it. Obviously, that final 6, I didn't care who was at the end as long as it was one of us. So congratulations. I love you both. Good luck and definitely continue to be confident in the game that you played. We want to see like confidence in your answers and yeah, best of luck. Bye.
Thank you so much, Morgan. Next up is Jenny. Jenny, the floor is yours.
Hello, friends. First of all, taking a shot of water to both of y'all because I was too lazy to go out in the heat and get some alcohol. So, cheers to y'all for making the final 2. It is definitely not easy. Mikey said he was probably one of the nicer jurors. I would agree to that, but I'm claiming I will be the nicest. My mind is absolutely not made up. However, I do like Dr. Pepper, so if y'all want to DoorDash me some Diet Dr. Pepper, you might sway my vote one way or the other. Okay, now to why I'm taking up all this time. Billy, I would like for you to tell me one thing that you did better than Minor. And Minor, I would like for you to tell me one thing you did better in this game than Billy.
I would say that my ability to make things happen and not just want them to happen was a lot more successful than Minor was this season. Um, but that's like Minor mentioned, like wanting to save Steven, but Steven went home 10-0. That's kind of like a huge talking point. So that's where I'm at least.
Okay, and Minor?
Say reaching out to people not working with. Like I was able to reach out like more with Steven, with Zach, um, kind of Zach. Yeah, like I always try to reach out. I never tried to close like a door to anyone. If they return that open door, it was maybe not back, but I always gave everyone a shot. And I was always like fluid. So like if anyone wanted to do anything, I was willing to do it if it made sense for me. Um, yeah, I think it's just maybe being more social.
Okay, and I just have one question. I don't care which one of you it goes first. What would you both describe as your best move and your worst move and why?
Ooh, best move. Best move, making sure the vote between Megan and Seb didn't tie. Because I know there was talks about it tying to put up Steven, and then I prefer Megan to go in that point instead of Steven because I knew Steven would have my back in the future, and he did. Worst move, I guess not getting with Casey after the Hutch and Denny that vote. And so like showing her that I did vote for Hutch and solidified that game side because I did see myself working with Casey, Andrew, Zach. I think just letting it flip over where I was saying that I voted for you instead of Hutch and losing that trust, I think that was my like low point because I lost people that I could have worked with.
Okay, and Billy?
I think both my best move and my worst move actually come in the same round. It will be the final 7 round. My best move of the round was making sure that I could push Fred in the right direction to try and make him think that John was not taking him to 2. But at the same time, my worst move was not letting Seb know, because at that point, Seb did have a lot of trust in me, and me keeping him out of the vote definitely destroyed the trust that he had with me and kind of made it a really rocky road moving forward.
Okay, like everybody has said, continue to fight for it. My decision is completely open. You both are absolutely amazing. I can't wait to talk to you guys after this game. Love you both. Good luck, and I concede the rest of my time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny. Okay, next is going to be Seb. Floor is yours.
Hello, you two. I want to give you kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah. I was gonna come shirtless in honor of the fact that you guys fucked John Farrell over. But I decided that no one on the internet needs to see that. But that being said, congratulations, you two. I am in fact the lone survivor from our circle in the jury, so I have the 2 votes, which is a new feeling for me. That being said, I have some points from the jury I just want to bring up. Obviously, I was there for most of your game, Billy, towards the end game of yours, Minor, and I was able to see a lot of game through you guys' eyes and through our circle and everything. I just want to bring up one thing to start. I think that both of you are worthy of this win, no matter the direction that it goes. But I'm going to start with a question to Minor. Minor, the round I left, you kept prancing around the idea. As you mentioned earlier, you told Billy in the beginning of the day that you were going to save him. I know it was still a hard decision for you, but why did you wait until the final hour to tell me that I was not going to be saved?
Because I didn't know until that hour. Like I told Billy just because we had that like final 2. I was like more like for right now at that moment, it's over 50% that I'm saving Billy. But throughout the day, I was like, you, Billy, like I kept going over the pros and cons, like the jury, the strategy of the social, of the comps, of the comp that was coming up. I had to put everything together, and throughout the whole yeah, like throughout the whole day, like I knew the plan with Noah wasn't gonna work, but I was either gonna save you or you or Billy. And then yeah, so like when I told you, that's when I was like, okay, I think I finally like fully decided what I'm gonna do. So like throughout the day when we were talking, it was never to like just bring your hopes up. It was always like I respect you too much to just like hold like this leaf over you. Like I generally was thinking of either saving you. But at the end of the day, the points, there was just like a few more points for Billy that it made the perfect more sense to save Billy that round.
Right. Next, I'm gonna ask Billy a question. Billy, do you think that Minor made a mistake taking you to the end over me?
Yes, 100%. The only reason why I say that, Minor did mention in a lot of his points for saving me in the final 5 was because I was more prepared. I told Minor that you had the same spreadsheet that I had. So no matter what, at that point, we had the same equal knowledge. It would not have mattered whether it was me or you in the end. It just felt like I felt personally like I needed to try and push that. But at the end of the day, I do think it was a mistake. I do think I should have sat on the block of final 5 and out the door. I think at the end of the day, even though you did play a super strategic and social game, I do believe that with me being unnominated, me being saved the most amount of times, I do believe I did push a bigger threat level. And even though I made the spreadsheet, you had complete access to it. You literally made adjustments to it. You added all your votes to that chart. So no matter what, we had the same level of information, and it felt no matter what, if Minor says it was compatibility, that's fine. But I think it's kind of a cop out just because I feel like no matter what, we had the same spreadsheet. We had the same number of information. I put all my information in there. I spent hours looking through those videos so we could all have it just in case Minor did make that decision. At the end of the day, I do feel like it was a mistake. But obviously that's up to the jury. If he wins, it's not a mistake. If I win, clearly it was a mistake.
All right, Minor. Billy got me on a call about an hour before I left and told me that everything Billy did in this game was to get me to the end. Without mentioning the Jenny and Hutch vote, tell me why Billy's wrong.
Of like, wait, can you repeat that?
Of course. So an hour before Billy divulged all this information about your final two, about alliances I wasn't in, and he said that the only reason that you've made it this far is because of Billy. Now, without mention, you mentioned the Jenny Hutch vote a lot. I need you to explain how you got here without, like, besides that vote.
Mhm. So besides Hutch and Jenny, pushing for Megan to go, freeing up Steven's save for the collective when he won the next round. I got saves from you, and then I got saves from Fred. Like I built trust with Fred and you. So like I don't know if Billy told you guys to save me, but I felt like I made connections to both of you that you guys were wanting to save me that those rounds. Um yeah, because I tried to make other connections. Yeah.
Yeah, and just one last thing, I think, before I like have finished my time up. Minor, you said that you were unsure if I would take you to the end, even though after we won after you put me in the collective for the puzzle comp, I told you that no matter what Billy was thinking, that I was not going to fuck you over. And that I wanted you at the end, but you mentioned earlier that you thought I wasn't going to take you. I just want to know your logic on that.
Yeah, so there was the where you said you were gonna save me, but then the day of you were switching to that you're saving Billy instead. So I found that weird. Fred found that weird. I felt like you were closer to Noah and John. Like I had a connection with John, not John, with Noah. John was the more one I was iffy of. And it was true that he would rather have me out of this game. So that's when I wasn't sure if you were to keep working with John, you would have cut me to keep good graces with John.
Yeah, I only have a little bit of time, but just and Noah brought it up in the jury chat, so I was just thinking about it. I wasn't close with Noah until you guys left me out of the vote.
That is the time. I'm so sorry. I don't like cutting you guys off, but
Both
it's
you
just
guys
my job.
amazing. Love you both. Bye.
Thank you. And last but not least, the winner of the season, Fred. Fred, the floor is yours.
Hello. I think first of all, I'm a little tipsy coming into this, so please bear with me here. But I think it wouldn't be right if I came onto here and didn't be messy. So let's get a little messy here. Those answers that you gave to Kevin that you thought were private, yeah, they're not private. So we're gonna talk about those. Minor, first one goes to you. Why did you like is this just like overbearing confidence, or do you genuinely think that every single person in the jury is going to vote for you? I just want to hear like an explanation for that.
No, but I'm proud of my game. Like I'm prouder of this game than the game I played in season one. That I felt that the jury, like my game is worthy of a vote from everyone. Not that they're gonna like specifically just vote for me. Like I had to plead my case, but I feel like it's worthy of receiving people's votes. It wasn't like I'm confident, like, oh, I'm cocky. It's that I'm proud of my game. Like no matter what anyone says, I'm really proud. Like I fought, um, yeah, I just fought, made it here again. Um, and then I'm just proud of this game.
I like that answer. Okay. And then Billy, it's actually quite literally the opposite. You actually raise your hand for the minority of the votes. So is there a lack of confidence coming in, like when you came into this? Is there like doubt? Like, I just want to know, like, what was going on for you in that?
Quite literally, it's because I didn't know where the jury stood. I would love to hear their questions and see where they're actually at. I don't like to assume ahead of time that I believe that I'm deserving of their votes. I believe that FTC is the perfect time for me to prove why I'm actually deserving of their votes. Because at that point, I don't like assuming. At that point, I went with the people that I was closest to within this game, or I felt like were 100% more loyal to me in this game than Minor was. Like, for example, Andrew, we had that 5-person chat between me, Zach, Andrew, Steven, and Kevin. I felt at that point you were definitely more loyal to me, even though that chat definitely didn't go to where it needed to be. I felt like at that point, no matter what, you were definitely more loyal to me and Steven within that circle rather than Minor and Seb. I do feel like at that point, Fred, we were locked in from day one. We had the haters chat with Morgan. And at that point, 100%, I felt like you and Morgan had my back, even though Morgan didn't save me, which again, I thought it was a little puzzling. And honestly, at the end of the day, it wasn't a huge deal because I didn't want to be saved. I wanted to compete for my life in this game. I just went with the people that I thought 100% were going to have my back, who I had the 100% of their backs in this game.
Okay. And then another thing I wanted to mention with you, Billy, is you answered something before, and you had said that you think I voted John out because you think you planted the seeds of me being worried about a final three of Jenny, John, and Noah. Do you believe that, or is that? Can I get like an explanation on that a little bit?
If I'm being completely honest, like I said earlier in my speech, I believe it was a 50-50 collaboration. At the end of the day, you had to make the move. But at the end of the day, I felt like I also contributed what I thought and what my view of the game was. At that point, that's why I believed, hey, Fred, this is a very viable chance. And I told you this. I said, there's a very viable chance that John is trying to save Noah. He did literally tell you that he was going to save Noah in that 5. I knew in the back of my head that at that point, there was no chance that I needed John in this game anymore because no matter what, if he was going to save Noah, who was going out? It was either me, Minor, or Seb, and I don't believe he was going to take the shot at Seb. I needed Minor in this end game, which is why I saved him 3 times in this game. And at the end of the day, like I feel like it was going to be me or Minor. I don't think Seb would have been able to win some of the comps that Minor was able to win for me, and that's why I'm not trying to say I planted the seeds, but we definitely worked in collaboration for that move, 100%.
Absolutely. It was more, I was asking that because I wanted to hear, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. I want to hear collaboration rather than planting seeds. And that's exactly what I wanted to hear.
I do apologize. If I did
no,
say that.
no,
I did
no,
not
that's
mean
totally
it.
fine. And then lastly, I just want to leave y'all off with, you're about to go into closing speeches. What I'm looking for is passion. I want to see you want to win this. I want to see the fact that you played this whole game, you played this long, make it count. This is like you're about to enter the last opportunity you have to convince some jurors because some jurors are 50-50. So use that time to convince the jurors. Don't use that time to be lackadaisical. Don't be lazy on this last speech. This is everything. So bring fire, respond, do what you have to do to make sure that you're winning this game. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So good luck, you two. I loved working with you two this entire game, so I'm super excited to see whichever one of you become the winner this season. So
Awesome. Thank you, Fred. And with that, we have spoken to all the jurors. So we can take another deep breath real quick. Okay. I didn't see it from Billy, but it's okay. And then we will do our closing speeches. Remember, you have 5 minutes and Lily will cut you off if you go over. So, Minor, you will start this time. The floor is yours.
So I just want to start off with that coming into this game, I knew I was going to be seen as like a comp threat. So I tried to change that and be comp, social, and strategic. I feel like I was more heavily in the strategic this game around. But just like how I told Fred, I am proud of this game. Like I raised my hand for every single juror, not just because I thought I was going to receive the votes, but I felt like my game is deserving of people's votes. And that's all I wanted to prove from season 1. I wanted to prove that I could play this game. I could put myself first instead of think of other people. Yeah, I'm just very proud of like more well-rounded, like game I've tried to do this. Like I tried to get connections with people outside my circle, with inside my circle. I tried to do moves that I decided were good for me. And then I was able to get myself into the end game once again. I'm like the only finalist. I could say that I've never been voted out of the collective, dragged out of the collective. I could match my placement or beat my placement. Everybody else was able to say it way before. But I could now say it. But I am very proud. I was proud of my game first season. I'm even prouder this game, like no matter what happens. I could sleep at night saying that I did what I could do. The jury maybe decided not to, but that I am very happy. I am proud. I'm glad what I did. I'm glad I said yes to come back and that I pushed through and made it to the end. And then that's all I can say. Doug, I'm just super proud. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minor. And now, Billy, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I just want to touch on a lot of what happened in these jury questions, just because I too truly feel like a lot of things were left out. Zach, just one thing I want to mention to you: the round that you left, I know you shouted out John and Seb. I was actually one of the people to save you because I did view Mikey as a bigger threat in this game. I felt like at that point I would have preferred to have Morgan and Zach in that pot, and it did not happen. I did not push it, but I threw a vote. I just want to put that out there. My finale points that I have written down. One, Minor, you did disagree with me a few times saying that I did not save you 3 times. I did save you 3 times. I saved you the round that Megan left. I saved you the round that John left. And I saved you the round that Noah and Fred left, obviously. I feel like a lot of this game can be differentiated by the way that things happened. The way that the ones that I happened, and I can specifically point to, like people like Steven going, I wanted that to happen, and it happened. A lot of when John Farrell went home, I wanted that to happen, and it did happen. I wanted Fred in the Final Four. I wanted that to happen, and it did happen. A lot of minors once, such as saving Steven, wanting to keep Jenny, it did not happen. I feel like I was a lot more successful in my personal approach. I relied on a lot of people in this game who needed me. I told specifically a lot of the times, like Minor did mention that I'm not sure if Billy told people, I told Fred to save Minor. I told Seb to save Minor. I told a lot of people in this game, a lot of Minor saves were through me. I told them, I said, I need Minor in this game. I need you to trust me here. I need this. And they did it, showing a clear relationship that I was able to branch outside my circle, knowing that I had that piece of information. I feel like I survived. I basically sacrificed so much for this game, just like Fred wants me to kind of elaborate on. There were a lot of calls that I had to hop off on because my fiance was starting to get pissed at me because I was talking to you people way too much and not talking to her. I have been playing these games for so long, and trying to put my best foot forward in a lot of these, trying to talking to you guys strategically with all you guys, and even playing these comps have been some of the best moments of my life in this side of the community. At the end of the day, you guys are going to vote for who you believe should be the true representative of this season. When I believe that you look back into this season, I truly feel like I embody what exactly happened this season, and I'm a perfect representative of what exactly happened and why I should be your winner this season. Thank you guys so much for all this, no matter which way it goes. Minor, love you so much. I'm sorry for dragging you through the mud, but I just needed to correct some points. I wouldn't want to be here with anybody else, but thank you guys so much. I wish you guys the best of luck in deliberating.
Okay. Thank you, Billy. And with that, this final tribal, final speeches, final something finale is now over. We are now going to the votes. Jury, we're going to give you a few minutes to send in your votes. We will now be sending the link to the pre-jurors so they can join us, have some little fun with awards, and we'll get back to you in a few minutes. Good luck, everyone.
Are we allowed to be on camera now?
Sure, of course.
Yay!
I just want to give a special shout out to my 2 prod guests. I didn't want to include you guys in the
Wait,
speech.
Billy, I'm sorry. Once you have cast your vote, you can come on camera. Thank you. That's it. You can go, Billy.
And have done that.
Sorry.
And you have, love.
I just want to give a shout out to my 2 prod guests, Mike Jones and Benji. You guys have been absolutely super supportive in my prod chat. You guys have been pushing me the last 2 rounds when I feel like I just completely wanted to break down and cry every single day because of the way this game took like multiple years off my life. Benji, I wish you were here with me, my season 2 diva. I absolutely love you. Mike Jones, if I can get this win for us, like you keep mentioning, I'm hoping that can happen. To the jury, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Well, I should say shout out to Cody and Timmy, even though none of them talked in my host chat. um, I think Billy got lucky. I didn't say it was Pride Month still, to, if you guys didn't vote for me.
Bug.
But it was fun.
Piggybacking off of something that Billy said, that I think we should shout out people that we thought were gonna be here, but we're not. I was sure that Morgan Collins was gonna be here. I thought Benji was gonna be here, and I thought Scott H was gonna be here, and maybe Montes too.
So if you're down, I can give you a summary on all that you just said.
We did get
'Cause-
some no's.
Yes, we did get some no's. There was somebody who replaced. There was a few of you who we thankfully thank you for coming last minute, because we had a few dropouts.
Fred was asked like 3 days before the game started.
Yes. Noah, I guess we could say now, no, you'll be very upset. Ruthie dropped out, unfortunately, a few days before.
Ruthie, no.
It was very sad. It was-
Fred did replace Ruthie on a 1-to-1 replacement, as you can tell.
Yes.
How about that? Seriously, like genuinely, the 2 replacements who came in last second were people who made it extremely far in the game. That's actually super impressive, and you don't see that very often. Like that's genuinely, like honestly, super impressive.
Oh, can Prod confirm I replaced Benji now?
No, Benji never said yes. I don't know how Benji could say that he withdrew if he says no to me. I love him though. But I thought that was funny. You replaced Casey from season 2.
Oh, she was robbed. That was
Yes, she told us yes, and then I don't think we ever heard from her again. I hope she's doing well.
I just, whenever Karen was in town, I was like, do I need to be active? And she's like, no. I was like, perfect.
You know who I was expecting? AJ.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. AJ. There was
Shout
there was
out
somebody else from
AJ.
there was somebody else from I thought Sierra was gonna be here.
Oh my God, Sierra.
She
that's
also
another
dropped
one.
very early.
No, I thought she
yes,
was
and
gonna
then
be
dropped.
here.
Basically, all the women told us no and dropped.
Well, they told us yes, then no.
That's real, Timmy, but Sierra was absolutely a second chancer and deserved a spot here. So at least I'm happy to know that she was contacted.
Excited for second chances to all the women that said no.
God, I forgot how nerve-wracking this moment was, waiting for the culmination of everything.
Good
Meanwhile, the rest of us are just like, hee hee hee, ha, ha.
Literally.
It was
or
me.
Or you're me who falls asleep and then like 25 minutes before the finale, and then yeah.
Kevin, you just love falling asleep during the collective, don't you?
That's crazy.
There weren't balloons involved this time. If there were balloons involved, I might have just not shown up at all. I don't know.
Kevin, literally, I went to my broad chat and I was like, oh, Kevin's fucking feisty right now. And you are literally the second person to go, and you're like, I don't want to repeat anything. And I'm like,
because I assumed that like 5 people had gone before me. I saw
no.
like
oh right,
okay, we're at the end.
He's like, I don't want to repeat questions, and I'm like, you're the second person.
I was thinking that in the back of my head, but I was gonna let Kevin be great.
we all said let him cook.
And then literally, my favorite part about Kevin's like, hold on, I want to change my camera. Hold on.
Because this is better than this. I don't think you want to see this. Now this, on the other hand, this is more like
we do have someone joining us.
Oh,
Diva.
Oh shit, Kate.
I hope, is it Montes? Oh.
Well, Montes did not play this game, so no. We had
Hey, he was
he in the jury chat.
He in the jury roundtable.
I mean, he could have clicked on the link and he didn't, so maybe he's busy. But with that, we do have the votes. Once again, I think I can speak for Prod. Thank you all so much for coming. I think for this season, I think a year ago when we came up with this idea, we were like, is this gonna work? Is this format the format? And from season 1 all the way to season 4, you all proved that you guys make this work. And then you guys all came back. And we all know 10 p.m. is not the most requested times, but we do really appreciate that you all guys stay up for those live nights. And with that, we can get on to the winner. I'm gonna pull up what I have, and I'm just gonna go in order based on the jurors. So with that, we're gonna start with Kevin's vote. Kevin has voted for Billy to win season 5 of The Collective. Andrew has voted for Billy to win season 5 of The Collective. Casey has voted for Billy to win season 5 of The Collective. We are at 3 for Billy. Zach has voted for Minor to win season 5 of The Collective. Mikey has voted for Billy to win season 5 rebooted of The Collective. We are 4-1. And then Morgan has voted for Billy to win season 5 of The Collective. We are at 5-1. And Jenny has voted for congratulations to Billy for winning season 5 rebooted The Collective. And to go over the rest of the votes, I will say that Seb and Fred has voted for Billy and Noah has voted for Minor. So by a vote of 8-2, not including Seb's second vote, Billy has won season 5. What a great end to the season. Billy, you have played such a great game from day 1 all the way down to day, whatever it is. You have fought and never gave up. Congratulations to you, Minor, as well. Making it final 2 games of the same series is no easy feat, so you should be very proud of yourself as well. And of course, I'll let you guys speak. I'm sorry.
Oh, Billy.
Let's go, Billy, man. If you guys know me 100%, this is the one thing I needed in my life. I've never won an org. I've been 0 for 4 in org finales. This is the first time I've actually been playing these games for 5 years, and I've actually fucking done it. Oh my God, Minor, I love you so much. I'm so sorry for everything I said, but I saw it in my hands and I needed to do what I needed to do. You are probably the best final 2 I've ever had in terms of making it to the end. I love you so much. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you to the jury for giving me this win. I completely appreciate you guys so much. Pre-jury as well. Cake, you were fucking robbed. I love you so much. I wish you were here, honestly. Call me fat one more time and we're gonna fight in person. Prod, as much as I absolutely bashed you guys this season, I know I was not definitely the best person in terms of being a prod person, but 100% I knew you guys had my back. I'm so glad I was able to return and show you guys that I am completely 100% deserving of this. Up 2 circle chats for the win. Let's fucking go.
One thing about me, I made sure I made those chats really fucking funny with the names.
Come on, bottom verse tops.
I'm so sorry. Real quick. Sorry, I was muted. Minor, would you like to say anything?
I just had fun. I'm proud of my game. And Billy deserved it, like 100%. Like, I love him so much. I adore him. So deserves a 1,000 billion%. Timmy also. Yeah.
Timmy.
But I love everyone. Cake. I wish we could have done the final 4
Listen.
finalists, but
listen, we
I
would
made it for us. I did it.
Listen, Minor, I love, like, we got incredibly close this game, but I'm immensely proud of everyone. Like, when I left, I tried my best to talk to almost everyone, if not everyone, saying, hey, like, there was a lot of emotions going on, and I just wanted to make sure everyone knew to play the game
and to make it a fun season. So watching this, I've been rooting for almost like I've essentially rooted for everyone. I was like, oh, this person, like I'm just so happy like this season ended on a really good note. So are we ready to get into the reunion?
There is
Come
one
on.
thing
Hey.
I'd
Okay.
like to disagree when Billy made his openings or acceptance speech. He said thank you to the jurors for giving me this one. We didn't give you anything. You fucking earned it.
That part.
Amen.
Amen. And with that, I'm going to cut this stream. Once again, congratulations to Billy, but we're not done with tonight. We are going to do awards. Plus, if anyone has any questions, it's the Ask Me Everything or